మనం ఈ డే ఎండ్ కానీ రేపు మార్నింగ్ కల్లా చూపించాం.
Sure.
Thank you, sir, for cooperating us for lot many years, and especially ఈ సెషన్స్ చాలా బాగున్నాయి సార్. లాస్ట్ మేనేజింగ్ సెల్
Definitely, I'll continue to do so as long as I have strength. Definitely.
సిబి చాలా చాలా నాలెడ్జ్ ఇచ్చింది సార్. when I'm talking with the people, I keep mind those sessions in mind and I'm talking and behaving. so nice of you, sir, so kind of you having you as a mentor for it.
Thank you so much. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Check YouTube also. If it is visible, we start.
మదబి ఒకసారి చెక్ చేయమ్మా యూట్యూబ్.
Yes, Supendra, it is there. Let me
Yes,
go
Supendra,
ahead.
it is there.
Hello. Okay. Good morning, friends.
Okay.
No, there is an echo. Somebody's microphone is on, please.
Okay, sir, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Good morning, friends. This is the Masterclass 2 on Executive Development Programs, methods of evaluation. I mean, what is the methodology? Okay, well, what we have told, what we have discussed yesterday is the need, why we need to fine tune organizational leadership, top level leadership. Because organizational crisis, one of the very important reason for organizational crisis is crisis in top leadership. So if the there is what we call leadership vacuums, and that's to be handled at a level. So internal support system must be so strengthy, I should say, that that can help the organization to survive. So of course you can get talent anywhere from outside, but the people from outside coming in and joining and gelling with the existing systems becomes a problem area. So that's the reason why most of the time we have the people who are to be trained and developed and take up the responsibility of the higher managerial positions. So that's what we have talked about yesterday: the need and meaning of the need and the importance of or the meaning of executive development programs. Today we'll be discussing on what are the important methodologies available today, and how do you evaluate this executive development exercise in most of the organizations today. Let's have a look at first method is on the job methods for executive development. On the job development refers, as the name implies, right? No, it refers to learning opportunities embedded in real work settings, and where executives gain insights, sharpen leadership abilities, and develop strategic competencies while performing their actual job roles. That means you take junior of a junior level to a senior position and make him feel that he's handling a particular thing. He is placed on a job of tomorrow is supposed to handle. So this kind of methods is practical and cost effective and provides immediate application of concepts, because they are at home, right? They are at home. They are not. There will be no confusion at all. So this kind of a model on the job methods will enhance learning retention, because anyway they are occupying different positions in a same setting, in the same setting itself. That's the reason why we say it can enhance learning retention. They can retain what they have learned and they're ready to implement the things. So let us now look at the key on the job methods normally used. One is job rotation. It involves, the name implies, it involves shifting executives across various departments, functions such as marketing, finance, operations, HR, and or even different business units. Of course, there may be core competencies at a level, but if you want to give them the other cross-functional experiences, as a matter of fact, this job rotation helps. Of course, everybody, for example, finance experts may not be going good in terms of HR, and operations are may not be fitting into marketing or whatever. That's true, but at the same time, when we would like to go, I mean, make them available on different cross-functional roles, they can understand the overall perspective. When you see somebody is growing to a chief executive officer level, it does not mean whether he belongs to marketing, finance, operations, or HR or whatever. He has to look after the entire organization's vision. So the purpose of this kind of job rotation is that develops a holistic understanding of the organization. That is very important. Holistic understanding of the organization. For that matter, for that purpose, you are supposed to move people over the cross-functional areas, and it enhances cross-functional awareness and builds versatility. So that's something very interesting. So this idea for grooming future leaders who require exposure to multiple business dimensions. So that's the reason why job rotation is to be considered important. Next comes another method which is now increasingly being used today, is coaching and mentoring. That means a senior executive handholds the new junior executive, and this is what we call coaching. And coaching and mentoring is a very important methodology here. So what is coaching then? A performance focused development relationship, typically short term. Of course, it all depends upon how you work out this coaching and mentorship. So most of the time, it's very typical and short term, where an expert guides an executive to improve specific competencies. So this is called hand holding. The trainee executive works in close relationship with his mentor, a senior executive or a coach, executive coach, and this is to improve specific competencies. That means this what you call in terms of strategic thinking, conflict resolution, a lot of problem areas where the executives can learn by being mentored by some senior executives. Mentoring is again a relationship based long term development process. Coaching is, of course, is short term, because he coaches, executive coach coaches a particular functional area, particular problem solution, or whatever it is. But mentoring is hand holding the individual employee, I mean junior executives, for a long term basis as such, where a senior leader supports the growth and career development of a junior executive. So this method mostly used in most of the professional companies here. They build confidence, sharpen interpersonal skills, and provides a safe and safe space for feedback, because they are at home, right, when they are working with a mentor and they are working with a coach of their own organization as such. See the feeling, they are quite safe. And they say that it's a quite safe space for them, and they can give the feedback in an open environment, very openly they can give. And third, of course, is action learning projects. When executives work in cross-functional teams on real life business problems as such, this is where action learning takes place. So instead of a classroom instruction, they are just placed in a cross-functional teams, and they're on a real life business problems. So when they are on a real life business problems on particular assignment as such, absolutely they're good enough. Encourages teamwork, innovation, and decision making, under real constraints, because you're giving them the action learning projects as such. So these are often part of management development programs in most of the organizations and executive MBA initiatives as such. And they can work with other institutes of repute also. We come to that little later. Next is fourth one is strategic task assignments. Identify certain high impact strategic problems and then involve these executives. So involving and these senior executives, I mean to say executives on training, involves assigning executives to high impact strategic initiatives. High impact strategic initiatives such as new market entry and digital transformation or merger integration, etc. Very, very important. So the purpose for of this strategic task assignments is exposes them to risk, responsibility, and strategic thinking. Very, very important, because it's a strategic task assignment. When it's a strategic task assignment, absolutely important here, they are exposed to risk, defined risk in that particular position, or I mean cross functional area, whatever it is, and they feel responsible in that particular position, and they are also involved in strategic thinking. And this kind of exercise builds leadership credibility and problem solving abilities in this. So let us examine a case here, how a job rotation methods and other methods discussed just now are being implemented. Take the case of Hindustan Unilever Limited. It's known for its robust leadership pipeline and one of the India's most admired executive development approaches. Let's examine what is that admiration that we can derive. You can see what sort of admiration that executive development approach followed by Hindustan Unilever Limited. Let's examine. High potential executive development strategy is their first point. Job rotation across rural, urban, and international markets over 2 year span. You know, just Hindustan Unilever Limited is a multinational, multi-product company. You know, so they require a lot of support system from executives for rural markets, urban markets, and international markets as well. So, how do they actually plan this high potential executive development strategy over a 2 year span? Let us examine it in detail. Year one, assigned to rural distribution and retail project. They're exposed to grassroots challenges. Stay in rural market scenarios and examine what or the important strategy implications but to be taken up. Second year, they, they, they are moved to an urban premium brand campaign in metro cities. This is called urban consumer behavior understandings and all that. And this is very important. These two, year one, year two, are interesting. Exposure to grassroots challenges, and second year is about brand campaign in metro cities. Of course, third one, international assignments are optional. Who are interested to take up and who are good enough in going ahead, then they are drawn out of their interest and commitment and all, and they'll be given international assignment in Southeast Asia, Africa, global just to understand the global outlook. See the excellent, executive development program plan of Hindustan Unilever Limited, highly admired executive development approaches followed by HUL. If you do all these things, what is the development outcome? See, it develops agility to manage diverse markets and consumer basis. Very, very important, because consumer market, Hindustan Unilever Limited is a high premium brand in a consumer market. It's a multi-product company. So it enhances this kind of exercise of management development program, enhances cross-cultural competence and resilience and leadership in complex environments. And of course, when you take up this kind of uh, you know uh, very professional support system with the executive development programs, alumni of this development track have gone on to become brand directors, business heads, and global leads within Unilever. Excellent. Because they are being groomed, you see. Alumni means who get themselves trained in that kind of highly organized setting of executive development programs. So they are now occupying, the big positions and leading the company's professional excellence. Thus, on the job development is a strategic human resource tool that blends learning with doing, because you're there on the job. They are put on the job at different levels, cross functional areas, and they learn while doing. So, this program, like Hindustan Unilever's or rotational assignments, offer powerful examples how businesses shape executives for adaptive, strategic, and global leadership through structured field exposures. That's why it is an excellently good example when we talk about Hindustan Unilever Limited's highly admired executive development program. Now let's look at off the job methods for executive development. So they are taken out of the company. Let's see what is this method and how it is evaluated and how it also enhances the training and development and equipping managerial what you call excellence in executives. Off the job development refers to structured learning activities conducted outside the day to day work environment and allowing executives to reflect, absorb, and practice new skills and knowledge without immediate performance pressures. Because what happens if you're there, inside the company, there may be some pressure here and there, but when you're taken out of the company and to reflect and absorb and practice new skills becomes relatively easy to gain knowledge and all, because you are out of immediate performance measures pressures as such. So these kind of programs off the job often bring in external expertise. This is interesting because you take them to some institute under some arrangement or whatever. So you take them in a classroom environment, in a business school, for example, or in an institute of repute, for example, or you can have your own leadership institute, for example. So you can bring in some external expertise, and academic rigor will be there, because the processes, classroom environment will be the structured syllabi and all that. The classroom structure will be time bound and timetable supported and all that. Everything goes according to a exactly standardized plan. So that's very interesting. And in order to give them global perspectives, making them ideal for strategic leadership development, you can also make use of off the job methods. Let us see what are these off the job methods. That is simply taking executives out of the company environment. First one is classroom sessions and workshops. Uh, Maybe inside the company or maybe outside the company. You must prefer outside the company. Uh, let's see what is the classroom session and workshops module works. These are structured learning environments led by experienced faculty and trainers and development coaches and mentors. What are the topics that are normally included in these executive development programs outside when they are put in some training programs outside the companies? One is strategic management. Second one is leadership communication. Third one is change management, etc., etc. I just listed two, three, four key areas. So these programs are designed to impart theoretical knowledge, tools, and frameworks that can be applied back at work. So this is a simulation again. Of course, there may be pros and cons with regard to this kind of a thing, but there's sometimes, what may happen is you have to take them out of the company environment and make them learn different things. So this is the process where you can impart theoretical knowledge, give them necessary tools, and suggest necessary frameworks that can be applied back at work. So they're often conducted in corporate learning centers. Most of the time, corporate learning centers may be inside the companies or maybe outside the companies as such, or even management institutes, their own, or they can be closely working a liaison with top business institutes. The second important methodology is seminars with industry experts. Conduct of seminars, these are short term, organized as an interactive sessions where thought leaders like CXOs or domain experts share their experiences and insights with the executives, junior executives as such. You can organize a seminar or something like what you call, you can say, now today we talk about fireside chats and all that. So you can have them interacting together, right? So what are the benefits of these kind of seminars? Real world exposure to emerging trends, disruptions, and the best practices that can be suggested here. The second is networking opportunities and peer learning, because they will be learning a lot how others in other organizations are doing and all that. This is a peer learning approach. So you can have a lot of they can have a lot of networking opportunities, the opportunity to work with other companies, CXOs and all. As for example, what are the areas that you can think of suggesting this kind of seminars with industry experts is? Of course, it depends upon the organizational needs and all that, specific needs of every organization. But today we have areas of concern are digital transformation, because everything is getting digitalized and all that. Two is ESG leadership, that is environment, sustainability, governance leadership. Everybody is looking after green energy, green marketing, green investment, and all that. So there are government regulations coming up very heavily on this. So ESG leadership, how you're supposed to be good enough in bringing the company according to ESG guidelines. And global market dynamics, because the global markets are undergoing terrific change today, because the marketing models undergoing terrific change, and how you want to take advantage of this dynamic canvas. So these are some of the important current topics of concern, where you can go with something like a seminar with industry experts. And third one, of course, is simulation and business games. Coming up today, this kind of simulations are increasingly important. Executives participate in role playing, scenario analysis, or virtual business environments. Most of the business schools, like Harvard Business School, IIMs, and all that, ISB, and all, they organize this kind of workshops. Like they conduct these simulation exercises with academic experts. Executives participate in role playing, scenario analysis, and virtual business environments are created, and you're asked to be participating in that, like a role play or a game or an activity. It is something like it is almost it's a virtual business environment. Okay, what is the purpose of this? The purpose is sharpening decision making, working out on collaboration skills, and how to learn, how to manage crisis and systems thinking. All these can be points that can be captured over this. So there should be a continuous practice of consequential leadership without real world risks. See, what happens is when you're playing a game on a simulation, whatever, you may go right or go wrong. So if you do the same thing in an on the job, there may be wastage of resources at a given point of time. There's a real world risk already there. So first try in a simulated environment, and if it works well, groom it into a perfect model to be implemented in an organization. That's fantastic. That's why real world risks can be eliminated with this kind of simulation business game scenarios. So the examples here on this simulation business games analysis here is Harvard's Mark Start is a very good thing. Just the same, Massachusetts Institute of Technology's beat distribution game. I'm not here to give you detailed information about it. Sometime after, I can be in a position to give you how these business games can be a perfect models where you can go in for this kind of simulations and business games. Then, of course, is university collaborations. Organizations can tie up with good business schools of universities and institutes. Best possible examples I can give you is where university collaborations are made possible and with IIMs, Indian Institutes of Management, and ISB, Indian School of Business in Hyderabad, and Harvard Business School's faculty team works very closely with industries if they require to support executive development programs. So organizations partner with these top business schools mandate to design custom leadership programs. Only thing is, organizations have to, give them the requirement, and the top business schools are there to design customer leadership programs and deliver. Maybe inside the organization, or executives are invited to, institutes. So, what are the formats that are included? What is the methodology here? There are very many methodologies. First one is residential modules, faculty lead case study discussions. Residential modules. That means you have to come and sit with ISB. Faculty led case study discussions. So it cannot happen in an organization as such. So you come and join for an executive development program. You just see in newspapers every day, IAMs and ISB announces executive development programs, and those organizations who are interested in, nominate their executives to different things. These are all residential. That means the executives must sit and reside in the institute's hostel accommodation, residential accommodation, and learn. And then group projects and field visits. They can take up group projects and they go to other industries. These are called field visits. Real life scenarios can be explained. And what is the value of this kind of a thing? This brings academic depth and global best practices to corporate leadership development. Reason is that IIMs and ISBs and top business schools academicians are highly research oriented. They examine what's happening. They are thoroughly investigating the business canvas. All the research they do must be translated where it should go. The research findings are what for these research findings. Again, they must all the research findings must be again brought back to organizations for increasing their efficiency levels. That's the reason why this kind of university collaborations help organizations, because it is bringing academic depth and the global best practices to corporate leadership development. So these kind of collaborations is another important methodology. Let's examine a case in point here. This is the case with regard to Mahindra's Rise Academy. Mahindra Group, very success story, professional group here, Mahindra Group, launched its executive leading platform, Rise Academy, or ISE, Rise Academy, to build future ready leaders. So let's see the approach they have adopted and key features. See the excellence here. One, they partnered with Harvard Business School to deliver strategic leadership training to Mahindra's senior and middle level executives. And the modules focused on: one is business innovation, two is cross cultural leadership, and three, strategy execution and in volatile markets, and many more. Right? These are only a few examples. See, they're tied up. Mahindra's Rise Academy tied up, partnered with Harvard Business School. That's it. So, what is the development impact here? This program, it is stated, it helped Mahindra executives align with global leadership standards and foster strategic thinking across its businesses. The businesses of Mahindra: automotive, farm equipment, IT, etc., etc. My farm equipment like tractors and all. So there's a wide businesses they have. So this kind of university collaboration approach, what we call, they tied up with Harvard Business School, enabled a stronger leadership pipeline, and Mahindra gained recognition for internal talent development across its global operations. Another case in point. So thus, if you take or top executives, aspiring executives to leadership development, take them out of the organization under these off the job executive development methods, and those methods give executives the space, the structure, and the stimulus needed to learn and evolve beyond their current roles. So, from simulations to Ivy League collaborations, they are essential tools. Ivy League collaborations are what you call partnering with top-notch academic institutes to give them the excellent research inputs and global executive practices. So these are very essential tools for shaping visionaries, to make the organization very agile, and also to develop globally competent leaders today. That's another example. The another one is what now being debated is about digital and blended learning and executive development. Is another area, a current area where you talk about executive development programs. So digital blended learning, the name implies blend. Digital and blended learning methods combine flexibility of online platforms with structured, often instruction-led elements to create rich interactive experiences for executives. Two things happening simultaneously. You can take them on online courses. What now we are having like instruction-led courses again, highly structured platforms, like combining flexibility of online platforms with a highly structured platforms, like mind it. And these kind of approaches ensure continuous learning, real-time feedback, and scalability across geographies. One interesting thing about online platforms is you can be slow, flexible enough. Only thing is you should have a a learning attitude and aptitude to learn. The timings are so flexible. Of outside your working hours, you can take these learning all through online platforms as such. So another area what we can think of is the when we talk about these kind of online platforms and instruction-led programs blend together. I can quote a few examples. I think most of you might be knowing these MOOCs also. These are called self-paced. You know what is meant by MOOCs? Massive open learning courses delivered by platforms like LinkedIn, Learning, Coursera, edX, and corporate portals. Very, very interesting aspect here is looking at the open online courses, how they work out. Executives choose from curated playlists or specializations. For example, strategic leadership, there may be programs on strategic leadership, there may be programs on digital transformation. These are all highly specialized curations are there for them, highly curated. There are playlists on their websites, you can see. And you can take up the program and learn at your own pace, at their own pace of executives. What are the benefits of these kind of MOOCs? That means massive open online courses developed by many platforms. So the flexibility to fit busy schedules. So why to worry about a standardized training program to be attended on particular dates and timings? No, you can be so flexible. If you're leisure, if you enjoy leisure sometime, go for learning. If you want, yes, you can take up these one of the courses highly curated for you from the playlist available on specializations of your choice. Then broad topic coverage from top universities and industry experts are made possible through MOOCs, online courses. And micro credentials, badges, and certificates to showcase learning milestones. This is one something very interesting. Certifications are important for you to get yourself trained, and there will be a badge for you. A certificate will be given for most of the highly empowered organizations who conduct these kind of MOOCs. They're called micro credentials, highly specialized certifications as such. So what is the best practice here is that they blend within house discussion groups or reflection journals, for example, where participants summarize key takeaways and relate them to their current business challenges. See, you can conduct an in-house discussion groups, or ask them to go for reflection journals. Right? Ask them to write the journal, what they have learned, what are the insights, and all that. So these are now the best practices which are to be considered. The second, partnership programs or something like that. These kind of highly customized thing like webinars and podcasts. That means here there are good number of institutes, bodies conduct live or recorded sessions featuring thought leaders, industry experts, and peer panels. Very, very interesting. How these are made available, how these are conducted. Yes, webinars include slide presentations, shows, or polls, or question and answer sessions with highly celebrated thought leaders on different business scenarios. These are ideal for deep dives on hot topics like current topics like leading through disruption, strategic planning, stress management, etc. So various podcasts are available offline or online. See, one, what you call, most of the time, online, what you call, there are a lot of insights available from the different types of podcasts, and executives can tune in, can listen during these programs while they commute. See, this is something very interesting. You can have your headphones on when you're driving, commuting longer distances, then listen to the podcast. Something interesting, isn't it? So the training and development scenario has undergone terrific change. So don't think in terms of what do you call, within the four walls of a company, within the four walls of a training system or whatever it is. Even in between meetings, also when there's a time that is available, you can clip your headphones to some podcast available. So, what are the benefits? Timely insights on emerging trends, and it is highly cost effective way to bring global expertise into the organization. Very interesting. And networking via live chat or follow-up forums are also available if you want to have this. And the best practice here is that host post webinar action hurdles, where small groups discuss how to apply insights in their functional areas. See, okay, you have organized a webinar. Fine. That's not the end of the story. Host a post webinar again. That means what are the action hurdles? What best we can do? What are the learnings from this? This kind of best practices can be followed to fine tune your executive support system, leadership support system in an organization. Then the third area is gamified learning environments. Today we have virtual learning environments today, and this kind of gamified learning environments also enhances your involvement in various types of problem areas. So what is this gamified learning is? It's interactive module or apps that incorporate game mechanics, and there are certain points, leaderboards, badges, challenges, etc. It's highly interesting and highly involvement oriented. How it works? Executives solve scenario based challenges like crisis management, simulation, and they can earn rewards, something like a game right now. Two parties now, and they are given a game of their own problem area, like say crisis management. Simulation is given a game, I mean party one game, sorry, team one and team two, they play and they earn rewards, they compete and collaborate with peers and all. This is called highly energized environment, gamified learning environments. What are the benefits now? Higher engagement through fun, competitive elements. It happens absolutely. Yes, immediate feedback on decision making, because because the game ends and somebody wins, somebody loses, some learning points here. It's absolutely visibly seen. But only thing is, you need to have a very well-defined gamified learning environment platforms, and to be administered well. So this reinforcement of key concepts via repetition or in varied scenarios can help the executives to understand how the things are happening. So what is the best practice here? Link gamified milestones to real world incentives. For example, you can organize a town hall, and you can organize a special assignment and reward who are doing well in these kind of environments. So this is called recognition town halls. Town hall is such a thing where you recognize people who are earning badges, who are earning good scores in this kind of gaming environments. That can be a motivation, at the same time a learning point involved. So you give them the priority for special assignments when taken up in an organization. So that's another model. Then, of course, is I need not have to tell you, these are 360-degree feedback tools. Like on there are a lot of digital platforms like SAP, Success Factors, Qualitrix, etc., that gather anonymized feedback from the executive managers. See this interesting model. You do not see. So, for example, you are an executive. You do not know uh, from where you will be analyzed. So, this kind of a digital platform gather anonymized feedback from an executive's managers, peers, direct reports, and external stakeholders like customers, suppliers, etc. So this is where I already told you, no, I have already told you the 360-degree feedback tools. You do not know that you're being, analyzed or whatever. In a highly anonymized environment, the feedback get collected. How it is done? Participants complete self-assessments. They The system aggregates ratings on competencies like strategic thinking, communication, and collaboration. All the participants participating in this evaluation exercise. The benefits include holistic view of the strengths and development areas, and is highly data-driven minded. Data-driven insights to personalized learning paths can be suggested. Where is the lacuna, where it should be bridged and all, what sort of learning inputs that the individual needs to have, and benchmarking against leadership competency frameworks. You can also benchmark individuals like and practices it. So the best practice would be integrate feedback results into coaching sessions. So, for example, if I suggest that I self confess that I am not doing good in this, or my peers tells me that about me that so and so individual is not good in this, is my perception, whatever. Thus, these feedbacks come, no, collect. You can collect these feedbacks, integrate these feedback results into coaching sessions, right, and ensuring targeted development plans. See, every individual has their own strengths and weaknesses as such. So don't go for a what you call a uniform training modules or whatever you call it, because each individual's training requirement and development requirement, maturity levels, etc., and all that are different. So you can ensure targeted development plans, target XYZ, and put them in this development, exercise or training program, and also for measurable goals. So the outcomes must be measured. So let us examine another case here. Of course, Mahindra's Rise Academy's digital learning platform. See how it works. It's a case in point particular. The platform overview is Rise Academy's portal combines self-paced modules, live virtual masterclasses, highly curated, and gamified learning simulations, and an embedded 360-degree feedback system. Something interesting, isn't it? See how structured the management development program is being planned under digital learning platform hosted by Mahindra Rise Academy. The key features are curated massive open online courses on digital strategy and sustainability. And there are monthly webinars and global CEOs and ISB faculty. See this kind of a thing, collaboration with Indian School of Business. Highly interactive simulations where executives navigate virtual market disruptions. They are put to virtual formats, virtual market disruptions, they are introduced, and they are asked to suggest strategies. Because after all, these are all interactive simulations. Then, highly automated 360-degree surveys. So every individual's feedback system, I mean, our performance orientation will be crystal clear because they're a highly automated 360-degree feedback mechanism they have. And they feed into personalized dashboards. So this is something very, very interesting. That's why we talk about digital learning. Highly personalized dashboards. See, X dashboard is different from Y's dashboard, right? See, you will be feeding all the feedback reports or whatever you get it from 360-degree completely transparent automated feedback to personalized dashboard of X. Y need not know, Z need not know, A need not know as such. You yourself only know where the things are in terms of 360 feedback survey. Something very interesting, highly transparent, and you know what you are, where you stand. So the impact is 95% of the participants report improved strategic decision making. Fantastic. These are these are all findings. And leadership bench strength increased by 30% every year, year on year. That means leadership bench strength means here people who want to opt for higher positions, getting ready leaders. Because such a fantastic development program you have planned and making future ready leaders ready to accept challenges. See, and reduced time to competency for new senior hire by 25%. Because instead of hiring from outside, you build up your own people. And such kind of exercises, Mahindra claims that senior hire what do you call risk gone down by 25%, reduced the time to competency for new senior hires by 25%. Instead of hiring from outside, you can develop from inside. So thus, digital blended learning empowers executives to learn anywhere, anytime scenarios, and it fosters peer collaborations and use data analytics to personalize development. Very, very crucial for building agile organizations of today, and of course, future ready leaders in the making for different organizations as such. So, with this, I close. So, this is something very interesting to look at nourishing industries, I mean, sorry, leaders from inside the organization and reduce the risk of external hiring.